This person has been able to build an entire 7-figure business on e-commerce, Amazon FBA, TikTok Shop, a lot of different things that are very relevant right now.
People don't understand that for you to be able to grow a business like Amazon, you need a lot of cash flow. And all the money that you start making at the beginning, you cannot spend it. I was working a 9-to-5. For the first year, my business was going because I didn't spend a penny. So you're not victorious because you have like a couple more $1,000s. If you want to succeed, you have to look at like the 5-year line. Like everything is mindset. If you don't have the mindset, you're not going to be successful in anything in your life.
Welcome to The It Show, where leaders rise, where the bold challenge everything and big ideas take flight. Because the most dangerous thing to be in the world today is an independent thinker. And today, as always, I have my co-host with me, Adelio Sanchez.
What's up, Will?
What's going on, man? Who do we have today?
Well, today we have somebody that I think everybody's going to be able to take a lot of really good info from. This person has been able to build an entire 7-figure business on e-commerce, Amazon FBA, TikTok Shop, a lot of different things that are very relevant right now. And I can't wait to start picking her brain. Today we have Francesca Rossel with us.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm super excited for this.
We're super excited to have you.
Thank you.
To get started, Will, like where do you want to go down? What path do you want to go down with Francesca today?
Well, I'm curious because e-commerce is a space that for a while, it felt like everybody was getting into.
Yeah.
However, not everybody succeeded. There was a lot of people who invested a ton of money to get into the space, and they ended up with a lot of products that never sold. They're just sitting in their garage, piles of boxes, and was never able to kind of get it off the ground. But what was so impressive to me about you, Francesca, is that you built this business and you sell more than one product, right? And you have different stores, different things that you're doing. So how was it that you got into the Amazon business, and where are you most excited to take it from this point?
Okay, so I started my Amazon business with my husband in 2022. We decided to start because we wanted to have more independence. Like we didn't want to work for someone or we wanted to make money out of when we were sleeping. So that was the main idea about Amazon. We knew that the business was kind of saturated, but I mean everything is kind of saturated. If you see there's so many lawyers, there's so many people studying business. So whenever someone says that something is saturated, it's not really like that. You just have to think, you just have to do things right. You just have to follow the process and try to learn from the best mentors. We didn't start buying a course. To be honest, we did it everything kind of ourselves, but numbers don't lie. So I think the best thing is analysis, and that's the good point there.
Okay, so you didn't start with a course?
No, we didn't.
Okay, what was that starting process? What did it look like? Was the money just flowing in right away, or what was that process of evolving?
Okay, so I think something you said before about why people don't succeed is because people don't understand that for you to be able to grow a business like Amazon, you need a lot of cash flow. And all the money that you start making at the beginning, you cannot spend it. I was working a 9-to-5. For the first year, my business was going because I didn't spend a penny out of the money I was making, because it just doesn't make any sense. You need a lot of cash flow to be able to grow the business. So whenever we started, we only started with $4,000. I had $700 on my savings. My husband had $2,000, and then the rest we financed in the bank in Peru. And that's how we started. And then everything started becoming a snowball effect and growing. But I think that's the key out there. Just have a side hustle, but don't think as a side hustle to be your main income source. You have to keep working, doing your own stuff to inject capital into your side hustle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, makes perfect sense.
I think you said something that's very important, which is at the beginning, right? At the beginning of any venture, a lot of people have the misconception that the moment that they start seeing that green start coming in and the bank accounts start going in a positive direction, they're going to feel this sense of accomplishment. This oh, we did it. We're victorious. What you're saying is, yes, you're victorious, but you gotta now be strategic, right?
Well, you're not victorious.
Why?
Because everything depends on the goal of each person, but just having a couple more bucks in your bank account doesn't make you victorious, because like at the end, if you're trying to do a business like e-commerce, like Amazon, that it's like a lot of time consuming and you're putting like all your effort into it, it's because you wanted to make it succeed. So if you want to succeed, you have to look at like the 5-year line, you know? So you're not victorious because you have like a couple more $1,000.
Gotcha. So anybody out there that is starting out and you got a couple bucks, don't fuck it up. You gotta bring that money right back into that business so you could grow it.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of mentality. Like I think like at the beginning for me it was hard because like I can't, like my family, it's like a middle class family. Like my mom struggled a lot, so I didn't see money in my life. Like I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, but for me at the beginning I was like, okay, I want to get some bags, I want to get some nice stuff, and then my husband, he was like all about mentality, and he was like, we're not touching this money. Like go to your 9 to 5, I'll go to my 9 to 5, and then we'll figure it out. And that's how we were able to like make this like 7-figure business, like out of full like mentality. Like everything is mindset. If you don't have the mindset, you're not going to be successful in anything in your life.
So at what point did you guys finally decide that, hey, we've been doing this a good enough amount of time, there's enough money here in the business to finally start pulling from it and step away from your full-time jobs?
It was whenever we realized that we had enough money to invest, grow the business. Like, so we've been growing 100% each year. So we've been 3 years basically. So we've been growing like 100% each year. So whenever we got to the point where Amazon was able to pay for all of our expenses, that's whenever we started like using Amazon as our main income source, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
and if you don't mind me asking, how long did that take to actually happen?
It happened in like about a year and a half, 2 years. Like the first year was really hard. Like we didn't see any money. The second year, like, because usually with Amazon, it's like everything it's about the market. So depends obviously on like your product, but it's about like how the market works. So at the end of the year, usually it's the best year for you to have like money because it's Christmas, more people buying Amazon. So usually like at the beginning of the year, you're going to see like it's not fluently going. And also like whenever you start, like you're going to get out of stock, and then to produce stuff in China, it's going to take like around 3 to 4 extra months, and you're going to need a lot of cash flow. So the first year, like you don't see anything until maybe on Christmas, you sell a lot, you sell all your stock, and then you're going to see a little bit of money, but that's the money you're going to use for the next year to start the year with. So yeah, like we took us like 2 years to be able to live out of Amazon.
Would you say patience is a huge part of this?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that it's just like, I think like my generation, I'm very young, so I would say it's my generation. We want everything really fast. Like we don't know what's having like difficult times, you know? Like maybe people from South America can understand a little bit more, but I've met like a lot of people of my age that they think that they deserve things fast. So I think that that's why it's 1% of the people who succeed in like in economically, you know?
Yeah.
It's because like they have the patience to be willing to put the sacrifice for.
And in terms of that, having that patience and that will to persevere and that discipline, right? Because it requires all that. Would you say that if you didn't have your husband as a partner in this, would you have had an easy time doing that?
No, definitely no. I think that he was a great mentor to me. I think that he has kept me part of the process, but that's what good mentors do. So I'm really lucky to have him as a partner, definitely as a business partner too. I think that I would have figured it out like either way because I've always had the mindset to succeed, but I think that he cut me part of the way. So be around people that actually can help you grow mentally. It's an important key.
So did you ever end up hiring a mentor to kind of get you from point A to point B once you started, cash flowing? And, because a lot of times what gets you from 0 to 100,000 or 0 to $250,000 isn't the same thing that's going to get you from $250,000 to $500,000 or $500,000 to $1 million. So was there ever a point where you guys brought somebody in to help consult to kind of reshape the way you were looking at things, maybe make some tweaks, some adjustments to get you over that hump?
Not really. So my husband, he has like, it's not a master, but he's specialized in like finance. So he's very good with numbers. In the business, like you have two parts. You have the financial part that is going to be the whole growth of the business, and then you have the creative part, and they're both together. I'm more like the commercial creative, finding providers, finding new products, like analysis person. He's more like analytical into growth. So thank to God, like we didn't need to find a mentor to do that for us. We've been like in a lot of seminars and like Amazon FBA stuff, but at the end it was just like the two of us like figuring out, and it worked out, you know. But I wouldn't recommend people to do that.
Why not?
Because I feel like I had a mentor, you know. My husband was my mentor, and I was also an expert in what we can call like creative part. So I think we were both too good in our expertise, so that cut us like the path, you know.
Got it.
But there's a lot of people that are not like that. So if you're starting from fresh, like if you don't have any idea of like any of e-commerce or social media or something like this, like I would recommend you to get a mentor to skip the process. Like maybe we would have like had like the 7-figure business before, but we wanted to do it our own way.
Gotcha.
So walk us through, because you came, so you're an immigrant to America, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is there anything that you see from people who grew up in America in terms of work ethic, in terms of effort, just in terms of all of it, that you see from people who, because I see it, I'm curious, do you see it, the difference in work ethic and belief in themselves and a belief in what America can actually provide?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Latinos, like whenever you're from like South America, most of us like we have an idea of the U.S. like of like the American dream. We can call it like that. So I feel like whenever you leave everything behind and you come here, and like you just have two options: or you give it all and succeed, or you don't do shit and go home. So you don't really have an option. So I do think that most of the people I've met from South America, they're really hardworking people because they don't have a lot of options. But the only thing that I'm gonna say is that American people are also really hardworking. Sometimes like people think because like they're privileged to be born here, they're not hardworking. But I think that they have more the entrepreneur mindset than South American people.
I agree with that. I think there's like a pedigree too that certain Americans have, where if you're lucky enough to be born into a family that has the right mindset and a structure for, I guess, bringing you up in a certain mindset, then you kind of start soaking that in. Obviously, we all grow up, have our little moments where we're rebellious or whatever, but I agree with you. I think there's a lot of American families who have the right intention and the right values to be able to create more entrepreneurs, create more people that are going to be able to grab that baton and keep it moving.
Yeah, and also like let's take into account that here like people they leave home at 18. In South America they don't. They leave home at maybe 28 whenever they're done with school, and most of like I would say middle class and up, like we're more used to like having our parents do everything for us because we think we deserve that. So like I had to come here at 17 and work at Chick-fil-A. That was my first job. So I would have been a privileged girl in Peru to come here to clean a toilet and get like racist people talking to me about my accent. Like it was a hard impact, you know? So I think like if you come young, whenever you're from South America or Central America to the US, you have more chances to succeed than whenever you come older, because you're just gonna get to a 9 to 5 and then like make more money than in your country, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because one thing that I've noticed, and how old are you again?
I'm 23.
23.
I just turned 23.
Sheesh, what I would
2
give
days
to be
ago.
23.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
What I would give to be 23 again. Especially in the younger generation, things that I see is they, and you alluded to this earlier, that they need that instant gratification. They lack patience. They need everything now.
Yeah.
And I believe that the future of America is going to be in the hands of people like you, because you have all of these young kids who've been indoctrinated now over the last, 10, 15 years to not take personal accountability, to choose your feelings over your commitments. And a lot of these people, you know, when they leave, like when they finally start taking jobs, like there's an epidemic of are you guys Gen Zers? Is that what you are? Are you a Gen Z? Gen Zer?
Gen Z.
There's an epidemic of Gen Zers just quitting jobs because they feel disrespected by every employer. And it's like, well, are they really disrespecting you? Or
No, it's mentality. It's stupid.
but you're seeing more and more of it all the time. Like I have friends who own coffee shops, things like that, and it's like I don't even want to interview these people because it's the same thing every time. They're entitled. They want all these things. Not to say that everybody's like that, but that's why when I met you, I was like, oh, this is cool because it's rare to see. And like there are a lot of hardworking Americans. I'm a huge believer in what America is supposed to stand for. But I noticed that there's a lot of immigrants who come here, and when I look in it relative to most of the Americans I know, I'm like, man, they're outworking the shit out of us.
Yeah.
They're just committed. They believe in the dream of America more than Americans believe in the dream of America. Most Gen Zers nowadays hate America.
Yeah, they'll find something to rally behind that oftentimes has negative connotations to the very place that's keeping them free and giving them all the options they have.
I feel like it's about like whenever you have the things in a plate, you don't appreciate them as when you don't have them. So I think like there's a really huge difference from coming like from South America or Central America to the US. Like there's a huge difference. So I think that that's why maybe people work harder because like they don't have any more choices. Like that's the way they feed their family. Like here, there's a lot of people that are also very like entitled to the government and they just want to take advantage of other people, you know? So it's very about mindset and about what you said about Gen Z, I think exactly the same, but it's definitely like it's the exposure to social media because like it's really easy to be scrolling and see like, I don't know, like a 21-year-old like making millions, trillions of money, like it's insanely like how much money people are making and half of them are lying. So I think like the exposure to social media to like being able to see what the world is about, but at the same time, like, you know, like there's a lot of things that people manipulate to make people see. Like it's brainwashing everyone. So yeah, I feel like Gen Z is brainwashed.
Yeah.
Do you think TikTok has anything to do with it?
Yeah, of course it does. Like, I mean, you're literally spending time, like wasting your time because there's no other word than wasting your time scrolling on TikTok, doing nothing, like falling into Italian brain rot. I don't know if you guys know what is that, but it's like crazy stuff that it's happening that people are just like wasting their time on instead of like freaking reading a book or getting to like a course or going to a seminar. Like, dude, do something else with your life. Like,
What's your favorite book you read in the last year?
I would say that Stop the Habit of Being Yourself from Joe Dispenza. That's one of my favorite books. That book is it's kind of hard to understand. It's about science and neuroscience of how law of attraction works. So that helped me a lot to open my panorama about life.
Dispenza is a master when it comes to mindset and brain connections.
Yeah, it's insane. That book, like, I don't know if I'm telling it like right, if it's that book in English, but I love that book. Like, that's one of the first books I've read when I started like my entrepreneurship journey.
What did you implement from that book and you saw almost like an immediate shift from implementing something you learned from that book?
Spirituality. I feel like he doesn't say it directly, but I think that you need a balance in your life between your body, your mind, and your spirituality. So whenever, like, I was raised in like a Catholic school and it was crazy. So yeah, that happens a lot whenever you live there. But yeah, I kind of like hated the church and all of that. So when I started like reading some stuff, I understood that successful people believe in God. So Joe Dispenza talks about attraction law in like a scientific way, but it's the same thing as the Bible says. So maybe that.
Yeah, it's tomato. The way that I look at it is tomato. We could be scientific about it and explain it with quantum physics and protons and all that crap, or we could look at it from the Testament, the Word of God point of view, which is just two versions, two sides of the same coin, which is
Well, at the end, it's exactly the same thing. Just do things right, work hard, believe in what you want to do, like see yourself, vision yourself, and eventually you're gonna become that person because you cannot have a vision if you're not able to achieve it. So that's what the book taught me.
Amazing. Do you think people nowadays, people that are doing this whole brain rot thing, the culture of like just going into opening TikTok, Instagram, and all these apps, and just allowing these platforms to dictate what their mindset's going to be, because that's literally what it is. They're opening the doors of perception to literally whatever the algorithm wants to tell them. Do you think they are missing out?
Yeah, of course. I think like so social media have like two bad sides. The brain rot, and there's also like so many people doing great that you can learn from. Like there's so many mentors. Like every single big mentor is in Instagram, on TikTok. Like you can just choose what to take advantage of. You can choose what your algorithm can be. So if your algorithm is about bullshit, it's because you want to be into that algorithm. So at the end, it's your own decision.
I love that.
Yep. So who's your favorite mentor you listen to right now?
There's a girl. She's from Spain. Her name is Marta Mancilla. She created like a very huge real estate portfolio. She does like hotels and like really big buildings in Mexico. And yeah, I listen to her every time, or Leila Hormozi or Alex
I love
Hormozi.
Hayla and Alex. Oh,
Yeah, I
they're
love
so good.
them.
Yep.
I mean, who doesn't? Those guys are killing it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they're amazing. They have really good advice. So
Yes.
Have you went down to I think it's Vegas. They've been holding those monthly seminars now. For
no,
scaling.
I haven't, but I started my community on school. Didn't work out the way I thought, but I was trying to get into the school game thing so I could go and see them. But
That's really cool.
yeah.
I don't think I know anybody else that tried to get into the school games. So
The
that's-
school?
School games, yeah, like the trying to
Mhm.
produce a certain amount of money so that you can actually be invited to his mastermind, right?
Acquisition.com, yeah.
Yeah, which is that's awesome. I didn't know you did that. Cool.
Yeah, I tried. Didn't work, but it was my fault. It is what it is.
What do you think? What do you think you would do differently now to make it work?
I feel like whenever you want to launch a course, you have to be very coherent with what you say, what you do, and how you act. Like, I feel like, and you have to believe it too. Like, I feel like I've had some success for my age, but I don't feel coherent enough to mentor people yet. Like, I feel like I have a lot of things to say. I know a lot about life, but to the point where I want to be, I think that I need to experience more. So I would have loved to just wait for the right time. Like, there's no right time, but inside you, sometimes you know when is the right or wrong time. But I don't regret.
You know what I love about that response right there? Yeah. She was talking, but she was also catching herself with her own limiting beliefs simultaneously, and we watched it live.
Yeah, I know.
Which I think is very cool and very self-aware to be able to do that. Because what was your course about that you dropped?
It was about mindset and how to become like a 1% woman.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's tough because, I mean, Russell Brunson, you know Russell Brunson?
Yeah, I read his book to do it.
Everybody read his book to do it. That's the problem. But one of the things he always talks about is like, well, you just need to be one chapter ahead. You don't need to be a whole book ahead. You don't need to know that much more. You just need to be one chapter ahead of them to help them get to the next level, which...
It's kind of iffy,
I
right?
don't know. It's a little iffy because it's like, well, I mean, if you're paying somebody to guide you and to mentor you, there's some truth to it, but it's like if you have any level of integrity, and he is a guy who has a lot of integrity, so let me say that.
Yeah, he's not a grifter.
Yeah, but like if you have, like you're going to feel at a very deep level, if you feel you're only one chapter ahead of somebody at a very deep level, there's going to be some kind of integrity leaks from your side where it's like, well, should I be doing this? Should I be charging people to do this when, maybe I am a chapter ahead, but is the depth of my knowledge there, and am I articulate enough to actually give the value to the people who want to retain it?
It's a lot about compromise too. I feel like whenever you're like, I feel like everyone is like born with a purpose. So I believe that my purpose is helping people and impacting people. I know eventually I'm going to be great and I'm going to do that. Like, I know. But I just think that like you have to be conscious about what you say to other people, because what you say to them can change their whole lives. So if at this moment I don't feel like that aligned with my own self, because like every entrepreneur goes through like ups and downs, and like you're never gonna be like up here, like like it's a roller coaster. But at the end, you just know when you get to the point where you can actually share something, and even though if you feel bad, you can still like accomplish with level what you want to do with people. So I think like that was the thing that was making me not doing it great. Like I wasn't doing it like with excellence. So it's not deserve, like people don't deserve of me not being excellent to them, That's what I think.
Absolutely.
The most incredible thing about this 23-year-old saying this stuff is like the maturity level. Like I don't think we ever encounter people that are your age, like within that experience, that are self-aware enough, right? Like when you look at like the chart, the distribution of society, like there's obviously people that are in one side that are, they need help. Most people are going to be in the middle, right? Most people are going to be in the middle, and those are the people that are struggling with the good, struggling with the bad. They have freedom of choice, and they often choose one good thing, and then they take 2 steps backwards. So that's where most people are. And then there's the people towards the end of the graph that are consistently choosing the right thing. And they have the maturity to understand the difference between the right thing and the wrong thing. What you're saying makes a lot of sense in the realm that, like, when you do say stuff, I heard this the other day, the literal translation of abracadabra is as I speak, so I create. Literal. And that's what magic is. So as you're saying stuff, saying it to people, you're creating an image of whether it's about yourself, about them, about their future, about the possibilities. So for you to have the wherewithal and like the maturity to know, hey, I just want to hold back and make sure that what I actually have to say is going to come out the way I need it to say. It's honestly pretty impressive. So congrats to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something I read in the Bible and in a lot of like personal development books, that if you don't do things with excellence, just don't do it. Like, because like at the end, like there's perfection doesn't exist, but excellence in doing things, that does exist. And God rewards you from excellence, not from perfection. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I love that.
That's really good. So this show is the show for independent thinkers. So as an independent thinker, a lot of the times you may see something, you may believe a certain thought based on where you are in your journey of life. What is one thing that maybe you believed 5 years ago that you no longer believe today?
Okay, so this is gonna be kind of like weird to answer, but I would say balance. So I feel like 5 years ago, when I started my business, well, it wasn't 5 years ago, but whenever I started my entrepreneurship, like world adventure, I used to think that you could balance going out, having fun, being around people, and making money, paying debt. Like I used to think that you could balance all of that. And you can, like, if you really want to do like great things, you have to lock in. So that's that thing that changed like 360 degrees in my life, because like before I used to think I could balance everything, and now I know like I have to lock in for a couple of years so I can be able to achieve and then enjoy. Like I feel like people just don't want to like sacrifice anymore because they don't understand what sacrificing means. Like just stop for a couple of years and then you'll have everything you ever wanted in the next life, So that's my belief.
Honestly, can't thank you enough for having this second episode guest. Like, how can we top this? Like, who do we have next week? This is crazy, dude.
Well, next week we got somebody special.
Yeah.
I can't break the news yet.
Okay.
Not breaking the news yet. But we got somebody special next week. So make sure you tune in, subscribe, hit the little like button, subscribe.
Yeah. We're brand new. So everything that you do for us right now is going to help us the most. So if you like what you see, if you got some value from this, subscribe and send it to somebody that you know for a fact is going to be able to benefit from something like this. So I'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.